My name is Bella. I use the she series pronouns, and I am the undergraduate recruitment coordinator for the College of Engineering. And today I'm going to talk to you about what is engineering like at CSU, and how can a student or really anyone, even in the community, can become involved to learn more about the resources that we have and to offer. So I think it's always good to look at kind of what the goal or environment and culture is like of a college. And ultimately, I see, right, there's a ton of different words on the screen, but the main message here is that we really encourage and help our students grow to be an asset in society. We want them to apply their knowledge to make the world a better place to live in, and engineers are involved in everything that we do in our everyday life, from the cars that we drive to the buildings that we're in, to the medications that we take, to even our things like our cell phones and even the laptops that we're on or the computers that we're on. So it is great because they truly do have an impact on the everyday things that we involve ourselves in. And we want, as a college, to make sure that they are going through this with purpose and with good intention. So just to give you an overview, we are a relatively small college. We're tiny but mighty, I will say, a group of great engineers. But for undergraduates, we average around 2,400 students a year. For graduates, because we do have graduate programs, we average around 1,000 students. And in general, we try to really enhance our environment for all students. So by having hands-on opportunities, labs, learning centers, creative centers, everything in terms of resources for our students to be successful here. So why WSCOE? We love our acronyms here, and it gets really overwhelming and sometimes confusing, but WSCOE is Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering. We're missing the J, so don't worry, I saw that. But we have a couple opportunities that are kind of unique for engineering. As many may know, or if you do not know, engineering is a very rigorous program. It is a rigorous field, and so we want to make sure that our students are prepared, but also that they get that unique experience that differentiates us from other institutions. So education abroad is something that is really beneficial. Not many engineering schools have this because as soon as they start, it is head first, you're going full speed. There's no slowing down because of the requirements that we have. But for us, we try our best to make sure that students have this opportunity. So we have opportunities in Europe and South America. The one for Europe is primarily for our incoming students. It is actually a bridge program where they go before they even come to campus. So it's kind of a unique process for them, but they really enjoy it. They build community and they really get to understand their peers. The one in South America, that is for our students in biomedical engineering, but can have other students involved. It's a really great way for them to understand connecting with their outside community. They get to build prosthetics for people in Ecuador, which is really awesome. So really great parts, and we are working on adding more of these opportunities for our students. So we're a little limited, but we're trying to make some headway in there. And then we have a lot of hands-on learning. This is super crucial for students, especially in the world of engineering. We want to make sure that they are not only aware, but confident in the work that they're doing. And so we do this by having them really integrate themselves into a hands-on learning environment. So labs, research, basically working with equipment, whatever it may be, we are continuously having them make mistakes here before they get out into industry. And then we are ABET. This is very important for engineers because ABET gives accreditation for an institution to say that their engineers are qualified to perform work out in industry. This is not always the case for every other program, but for CSU, we make this a priority because we want to make sure that students are qualified when they leave us. So as soon as we give them their degree, they can actually go out and get a job. And then on top of all that, we have undergraduate research. So as you may have heard, we are a tier 1 research institution. We have a lot of funding in research, and especially in the College of Engineering. So we are constantly encouraging students to get involved in undergraduate research from day one. This can be through professors, through other peers, through TAs, an array of people who can help them start this journey early. And then this is just an overview of the majors that we have. And so we'll go through them very briefly, but I just wanted to kind of give you an insight of what type of engineering majors are available with the College of Engineering at CSU, just because it can differentiate from institution to institution. We have these for various reasons in comparison to other institutions who may not. So the first one here is a really unique program that we offer. It's called Engineering Open Option. And this is basically for those undecisive students. They're like, I love CSU, I love engineering, but I just cannot figure out which one is for me. And that is okay. We want you to take the time that you need to figure out what is the right path, because college is overwhelming. And especially students who come in right out of high school or even right out of community college, they're still just trying to figure out what their next steps are. So we make that an easier process for them. This program gives them a whole semester to figure out what they want to do and why they want to do it. Because again, we want to move forward with purpose. And what's really great is that they get to explore the 14 grand challenges of what engineers face every day. This can be climate change. This could be infrastructure. This could be polluted water, polluted air. There's a variety of different things that engineers are constantly trying to fix. And so with that, these students are given the task of finding the challenge that they find most interesting and then developing a solution. And the way that they develop that solution will let them know about what type of engineer they should be or what type of engineering they should go into. So if they like to maybe go into more of like a science, chemical, and bio stance, maybe chemical and biological engineering is for them. Or maybe they are more of like physical and they like the mechanics of it and they want to create a solution that is, larger. Mechanical engineering might be the route for them. So it's a really great way for them to figure out what is best for them and then how they can lead into another program. It doesn't jeopardize their curriculum, which is really nice. It basically leads them into their next semester and they're right on track with their degree. Mechanical engineering. So this is all things, manufacturing, fabrication, anything involved in really using your hands. So for the students who really love that hands-on being, dirty and grease monkeys and everything, this is a great way for them to become involved in mechanical engineering or even engineering in general. Especially in the world of automotives, we do have several students who go into the automotive industry who will work for folks like Dodge, Ford, Cummins, anything like that, to really help with the kind of evolution of automotive industries that we're experiencing. And aerospace is also a really large part of it. So oftentimes you'll see this pretty consistently here. We do offer ways that students can get involved in aerospace. We just don't have an aerospace program. But we do that purposely because we want them to be qualified engineers, and aerospace can be a really niche industry for them to even get into. So we have them pick up a general engineering degree, have some specialty, and then specialize in aerospace or have a concentration in aerospace. So aerospace is one of those that they can go into with mechanical engineering. This is a very hands-on program. We have several labs, thousands of square feet where students can go and learn and create and build every day. And then we have electrical engineering. So electrical engineering is a very, I think, evolving major, and that is paired with oftentimes computer engineering. We'll dive a little further into it. But electrical engineering is definitely a world where you can be involved in any way you want. So because we're getting into such a phase or an era where electricity, power, energy, really controls our everyday life, that's where electrical engineering comes in. And so they're the ones who can, build robots, do AI, go into lasers. You can even pick up an accelerated master's program with electrical engineering, which is really great for students so that you can kind of start that journey early in your bachelor's program. But electrical engineering is all about reading. So how things read between each other. So when we have Bluetooth, when we're thinking about Wi-Fi, electrical engineers are the ones who are understanding how communication works. And then there's computer engineering. So this is more applying of that computer science. We do not offer computer science in the College of Engineering, but we do often partner with them. So we do see a really great connection between computer science and computer engineering. Computer engineering is going to be more of that like physical software side, while computer science is going to be more of like the data side, and the tracking and coding. Computer engineering is still going to apply that. They're still very aware about not only am I building this, contraption or machine that is going to be able to make all these functions, but I want to program it myself. So when we think about AI, when we think about, programming, cybersecurity, anything like that, that is going to be related to computer engineering, which is really great because this is definitely a very up and coming major. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more involvement with computer engineering. It is relatively new at CSU, but we are trying our best to make people aware about what the opportunities are with computer engineering in general with the industry. So we work with folks like HP, Apple, Intel, about getting our computer engineers more involved in their industry. So really awesome. And it's also offered in a minor. All right. And civil. So civil engineering is basically anything infrastructure or how we move or confine things. So when we think about a dam, that is traditionally made with civil engineers. When we think about large buildings, that is also something that a civil engineer would make. We do have a really close relationship with construction management just because there is a lot of crossover. So oftentimes students will take a civil engineering major and pair it with a construction management minor, or vice versa. So that's what's really awesome about it, is that it is pretty versatile and applicable in multiple areas of the world. So we do see civil engineering get spread across in a larger way because there are definitely countries who are in need of, new resilience for infrastructure or something similar. And another really great hands-on program. And we also like to make sure that our students are aware about the problems that they may face in civil engineering, just because it's so connected to humans that you're impacting. And so a great example is that we have a earthquake simulator on campus. Really neat. You can actually build a whole building and put it on top of the earthquake simulator and see if it would withstand or how it would crumble. So that's how civil engineers can test theories and make sure that these next things that we're going into can have resilience in any sort of natural disasters that we may experience. And then environmental engineering. So oftentimes environmental engineering, I think, gets a narrative that it's environmental science. And really environmental engineering is focused on air quality and water quality. But there is opportunity for students to become more in the work around climate change or anything similar to it. But these are students who, especially at CSU, and CSU, we love water. We want to make sure that we are not only aware about the quality of our water, but also how do we then take ones that are not of that quality and make it so. So that's what's really great, is that we're constantly trying to figure out, especially when there's countries who do not have access to clean water, how can we give them a solution so that they can start to gain this type of access and have the resources that they need. Same thing goes for air quality. When we think about pollution, environmental engineers are the ones who are trying to figure out how can we decrease pollution in an area. Maybe there's something that we can put into the air. Maybe there's a filter that we can create. Those are real projects that students have worked on in environmental engineering. So again, another one of those areas where it is very impactful towards humans and society. Whoa, looks like a double slide. Okay, chemical and biological engineering. So this is very different in comparison to other programs who might offer chemical engineering or biological. We pair them together because we think that rather than just have one type of science, have both, because there's so much crossover and application. So we do this so that students are more knowledgeable and more qualified when they leave our program. What's really great about chemical and biological engineering, it is super versatile. You can use it in almost every part of life, from the food that you eat to the gas that you even put in your car, or like the fluids that you put in your car. So Oftentimes when students are in chemical and biological engineering, they can go into a variety of different career paths, such as healthcare. That's a pretty popular one because you're very aware about, not only the chemistry, but the biology side. So understanding living organisms. And then pharmaceuticals is another big one. They have bioreactors that they work with to understand how pharmaceuticals are made, and they can make pharmaceuticals themselves. Food processing is actually a super big part of that. So we work a lot with food processors, producers to help them transport food or preserve food. In other instances, we can work with folks in the Fort Collins area, like breweries, and they love chemical and biological engineers to help them create new products. So there is a lot of different ways that chemical and biological engineers can become involved and pursue different pathways, but it is definitely it differentiates into multiple facets. All right. And then biomedical, our last one. So biomedical engineering is a dual degree program here at CSU. And I think that can be a little intimidating for students, but we do this because biomedical sciences is such a broad spectrum. There are so many different things that you can do in the biomedical field. And especially as engineers, there are so many different things that they can become involved in. And sometimes that's already overwhelming as it is. So rather than making them figure out what they want to do in biomedical engineering, we say pair it with something so that you can specialize in that area and apply it to biomedical engineering. So below we have the types of pathways that students can have. It is a nice little buy one, get one 75% off that we like to say. I know that it's a big commitment for students, but you are a very qualified engineer at the end of the day because you come out with 2 bachelor's degrees. But they compare it with a variety of different majors from chemical and biological, computer engineering, electrical engineering, or even mechanical engineering. So when we think about prosthetics and how those are built, those are primarily from a biomedical engineer and a mechanical engineer. Or when we think about heart monitors, the things that they put on our fingers when we go to the hospital to take our like blood pressure and stuff, those are from an electrical engineer. So there's a lot of things that we interact with that these folks are involved in, and we don't necessarily make that connection all the time, but it does go back to, especially in the medical field, a biomedical engineer are the ones who are creating those treatments for you. Now, I apologize for the wording, for some reason just got all jumbled, but basically this is senior design. So this is a requirement of every student in the College of Engineering that they are tasked with. So they are given the problem of you have to figure out a senior design project that can either be a previous project, it could be a project that a company has and that they would like to sponsor and have the engineers build or create. Or it could be a project from the past that they just want to enhance. So it definitely does kind of help them get this creativity, this innovation, this space to try and build new things. And these are some pictures from some of our senior design projects that actually just came out last year. So the student up on the right-hand corner was actually born without arms, and we had a team of biomedical engineers and electrical and mechanical engineers come together to build him functioning arms that he can use. And then we even have a canine exoskeleton. So we do work with other colleges on campus, including the College of Veterinary Medicine. And we worked with them to understand how can we give animals the ability to move when they don't have those limbs themselves. So really great way for students to, again, try different things, create something new that can impact, society. Within this, we also have the opportunity of students getting patents. So we do offer that in the college where they can go through a whole process of creating a new product, go through the patent process as well so that they can get the credit that they deserve, and then be able to, create some revenue from all of that as well. So this is also a way for them to start building those connections early on in this whole phase of senior design. And then at the end of the year, at the end of the academic year, we have E-Days where all the students come out and they showcase their senior design projects. So I highly encourage, if you're in the area, to come and see the projects. There's like robots walking around, cars, a bunch of different things that you can see, and all made by students. All right. And then this is just a little bit on student success. So we try our best to set up our students because, again, we understand that the program that they're going into is not the easiest. And so because of that, we have to have other resources for them. So here are the types of resources that are offered in the Engineering Success Center. So this is kind of the hub of it all. How can students utilize this when they get here? We have a learning community. It's called the Engineering Residential Learning Community. It is a whole dorm dedicated to engineering students. They have a tutoring center below where students can get tutoring. They have, creative centers where they can use computers for their homework, anything like that. And then, of course, they're surrounded by their peers who are also engineers, which can be really helpful for them progressing through their classes and their curriculum. And then we have Empower, which is a student mentorship for underrepresented students in the college. Encourage, which is math support, because math is necessary in engineering. It is the everyday tool that they will use in engineering. So we try our best to make sure that they are prepared to take calculus when they get here. And Encourage is an absolute free summer program that we offer. Career services. We have a career fair every semester, and this last career fair, we had over 100 employers. So we really try to push for students to make those connections early. And almost 90% of our students do go through an internship before they graduate. And then we have academic advising, of course. We want to make sure that students are aware about what their degree completion is looking like and also what their opportunities are. We have outreach and recruitment, such as myself. Scholarships, we offer over 2 million scholarships every year for students. And so we try our best to ensure that students are not too financially stressed, especially everything else that comes with college. There's the financial part on top of it. So we try to alleviate that. And then we are the first group in Colorado, in the state of Colorado, to have an FB exam center. The closest one is actually in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And so this is the fundamentals of engineering. For some engineering students or engineers in general, it can be a requirement of their job, primarily for civil, environmental, mechanical engineers, but it can help them start to grow into a position and, find promotion in the work that they're doing. So we offer that center now at CSU. All right, and then just the last few things, admissions requirements. We are a competitive college. We try to ensure that our students who are coming in are truly prepared for the work that they are going to do. So because of this, we do have to have certain requirements set in place before they come in. So one is having a 3.0 GPA. This is for our incoming high school students. They do need to have 1 year of physics or chemistry or in progress of that. And then they need to have 4 years of math, preferably algebra, pre-calculus, or calculus-based. Statistics does not count. It is not anywhere in their curriculum that they need statistics. So we do not have it as a requirement of them coming in. And so we do prefer that they take any form of calculus. Even, I like to say, even if, let's say, you get a really low grade in calculus, that is okay. We would actually prefer that students go through calculus, experience it, and then come to college and try it again at the college level. Because all we're looking for is just the practice and the understanding of it. It is never, and what we like to kind of view is that it's never the smartest student who's going to be the most successful in our college. It's the hardest working. And so we're not too concerned about numbers. We just want to make sure that you have that kind of effort and the perseverance to progress in our college. So while these are put in place, we do then holistically review students who do not meet these requirements. So we'll look at things like, what were your grades like? Maybe there was a year where things just kind of fell down, and that's okay. How did you grow from that? Do you have recommendations? Are there teachers who can vouch for you? Are there employers who can vouch for you? So we're just looking at, can you grow and can you put in the effort that is required? All right. And then there are ways that you can connect with us. So I see all things recruitment. So anything related to prospective students, incoming students, prospective families or guests or anything related to it. This QR code does lead you to our Visit Us website. And so we do offer tours every single day of the week, where you can tour our college, our labs, our classrooms, with a current student. And then we also offer lunches. So if a student would like to sit down and have a one-on-one lunch, because one, you get a free meal, and two, you get to talk with another student, feel free to do so. So that QR code does lead you there. And then that is an email where we get just like our general questions sent to. So if you have questions following up. But that completes my end.
Thank you so much for being here, Bella. Really appreciate your time. This was super informative. And thank you, Brenda, for filling in for Ruben Flores as he is working a college admissions fair in his region. So he's super excited about that. And so he'll be joining us next month for our December 6th College of Agricultural Sciences presentation. So look forward to seeing you all then. And yeah, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you all.
Okay, actually, I think we may have one question. So what do you think sets engineering at Colorado State University apart from other engineering programs, Bella? Good question. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that there's a variety of different things that really help us separate ourselves from other programs. And I do think that other programs have great qualities about themselves. There's definitely uniqueness in everyone. But for us, I would say that we are very involved with the industry. We have a very high placement rate in terms of students being able to either pursue a job or graduate school or something similar at the rate of being an undergraduate student, and then of course pursuing their degree and already having something set up. So in terms of numbers, I think we average around like an 80 to even 100% of placement for our students in our program, that will either go into a graduate degree or into a industry job. Another thing that I think is really great about this program is that it really does emphasize that hands-on work. We do have a lot of students who will go into a lab in their second semester, or some cases in their first semester, and be able to physically work with equipment and understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Which, if it's funny, if you ask other engineers here who didn't receive a degree here, they say that it is super immersed in the world of engineering. And so we try our best to make sure that our students are, in fact, capable of the work that they will be doing. And all of that, we also have co-ops. I didn't get to talk about this, but we do have co-ops, which co-ops are different than internships. So this is a program that kind of went away in COVID, but we are trying to, bring it back to life. But co-ops are really awesome because we work with companies and we basically get students set up to work for them directly. So a student would take off a semester or a year of classes to go and work as a full-on engineer in the field. So they would get paid full-on engineer wages and get the experience that they need, and then they come back and finish up their degree. So yeah.
Thank you for answering that, Bella. Another good question. You talked about scholarships. What tips do you have on researching and applying for scholarships available for first-year engineering students?
Yeah, so we, on our website, if you search CSU College of Engineering, there is an area about the college and you'll see scholarships. Our dean scholarships, so this is a college-wide, our dean scholarships, our departmental scholarships, and any like specific donor scholarships will go through the CSU SA. So we tell all students, even if they are an incoming student, like let's say they've applied, they've been admitted, and they're in the process of, do I want to come here? They can actually still apply technically to our college. So we encourage them to do so because we understand sometimes that is the deciding factor when students get here. Am I going to have the financial support that I need? Do I have the scholarships that are available to me? So everything in terms of the dean's department and any sort of donors is going to be through the CSU scholarship application. So we will view those. Those are all holistically reviewed. So we do have a committee that will review each student that has a qualifying application. I always encourage students, don't procrastinate. definitely take the time to fill out each part, and especially the part about need. I will be totally transparent. It does not mean as much or have as much of an impact when a student doesn't state that they have a need. We have to know why they need the scholarship, and that will move them up in our rankings. And then on top of that, we also have a separate scholarship program called the Scott Scholars Program. This is a program that covers a very large portion of their degree. It does have very specific requirements. So a student does have to qualify for green and gold in order to qualify for this scholarship, but it would cover all of their classes, and basically all of their credits here as a student. So we don't like to say that it's full ride because that's technically not the case, but it does cover a good majority of it. So there is Scott Scholars, and then there is the CSU SA. And as long as students are consistently applying for scholarships, that will increase their chances with receiving more from our college and from our departments.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Bella. Again, really appreciate your time, and thank you all for joining us. If there are any questions, please let us know. But otherwise, hope everybody has a really great day.